Time to talk about the Star Wars movie that nobody asked for, but we got anyways. What up, my name is welcome back to DimTV. I'm your host, ImageUp2299, and we're back with another movie review. This time I am reviewing Solo, a Star Wars story. The second of the Star Wars spin-off movies, first one being Rogue One. What did I think of Rogue One? Rogue One was alright. I don't know. Not that great. It's actually kind of boring. But anyways, moving on to this movie specifically, what did I think of it? Well, I honestly thought it was better than I expected. I expected it to just be a complete 100% cringe fest of just, ooh, look at him getting the Millennium Falcon for the first time. Ooh, look at him meeting Chewbacca for the first time. Ooh, we're going to show you how he got his iconic blaster that he has. And, like, yeah, it kind of did do all those things, but it wasn't as, like, it didn't do it in too much of a, like, oh, this is obviously the point of this scene kind of way. Like, yeah, certain moments you're like, okay, this is a little meh, but I don't know. I enjoyed it for the most part. Like this movie is okay. I'd give it a solid, 4 out of 10. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. It's okay. It's enjoyable. There are fun scenes and fun moments, and I wasn't bored watching it. Like, I was interested watching the movie the whole time, and I like some of the characters and stuff, so it's fine. And Chewbacca has some cool moments, everybody always talks about how, like, oh, Chewbacca in the one movie, they mentioned that he rips people's arms out of their sockets or whatever, but he never actually does that in a movie. Come on. Well, he actually does in this movie. So, if you want to see that, then you get that in this movie. It's actually pretty awesome. But yeah, like, that's mostly what the movie is. It's just, like, little fan service moments where it's like, ooh, here's something that you'll recognize, and here's something that was mentioned in another movie that was never fully explained, but mentioned, but we're gonna show it in full detail. Ooh, you want to know how he won the Millennium Falcon from Lando? Well, it was in a card game, which I found that kind of underwhelming, to be honest. Like, it's like, okay, there's all this talk about how did he win the Millennium Falcon from Lando, and then it's like, all at the end of the day, it turns out it's just a card game that he wins it in, so it's a little underwhelming, but, whatever. But yeah, it's fine. Like, again, I liked it. I didn't hate it. I enjoyed most of the scenes. Like, they're fun moments and everything, and so it's fine, and all the actors did a fine job. The guy who played Han, I forget his name at the moment, does a really good attempt at playing Han Solo. I don't know if it completely works necessarily. I feel it didn't feel right, but I mean, that's to be expected considering the fact that he's not Harrison Ford playing a character that has always been played by Harrison Ford, and so it's just doesn't feel right. So you can kind of forgive him for that. Like, he does make a pretty good attempt at it. It just doesn't quite come off right. Whatever. The guy who played Lando, again, I forget his name, was also really good. He did a good job playing Lando, who was originally played. I can't think of actors' names today. I don't know. But yeah, so, and then the new character by Woody Harrelson, he was alright. He was sort of like a guy who, I think originally you're supposed to think he's like the mentor character, like in the trailers and stuff. He kind of is in a way. He's more or less, he's the guy who brings Han into the world of smugglers and things like that. He's the guy who kind of brings him into that world. So he's an alright character. I like Woody Harrelson. He's a decent actor. He does a good job in this. Yeah, again, like, there's not a lot for me to say about it other than it's got some fun moments. If you want a movie that a fun movie with some fun, escapes and whatever, daring escapes and all that fun scenes of, these small band of underdogs going up against, like, you know, much larger, you know, characters and, you know, whatever, and, you know, using their wit and everything to succeed. If you want to see that, you know, then yeah, see this movie. There's no really interesting story or anything, or nothing really interesting going on with the characters. It's just kind of, hey, here's how Han found the Millennium Falcon. Here's how Han met Chewbacca. Here's how he met Lando. That's what the movie is. It's like, you want his origin story of where he got everything, how he ended up the way he is at the beginning of episode 4, when you first meet him in episode 4. Anyway, it's not the beginning, but yeah, and a lot of people were saying, like, oh, there's not going to be a lot of character change with him. There's some moments of, like, character change where he's like, oh, he, like, sort of learns how to be a smuggler and stuff, because, like, at the beginning he's just some orphan guy. I assume he was an orphan because he says that he has no family in the beginning, on some random planet, barely surviving, and then it ends with him, you know, being this big smuggler with this amazing ship and everything, and Chewbacca. So, you know, it's like, I guess there's somewhat of a progression of, like, oh, it ends in a different place than it started, so it, yeah, that's fine. I like that it kind of tried to do that. But yeah, overall, it's okay. It's most definitely not the worst Star Wars movie. You know, that still goes to, like, episode 1 and episode 2 as the worst too. It's definitely not the best either. I would say I would put it right there around Rogue One, honestly. Although Rogue One does have some better, like, action and better, like, cinematography and stuff, so that might put it a little bit above Han just because of that. But yeah, like, if you want to see just a fun movie showing Han's origin or whatever, Han Solo's origin, I guess, yeah, go see the movie. That's all I can really say. It's not anything special. I don't think it tries to be anything special, though. That's the thing about this movie, is, like, it's not anything special, but it doesn't try to be anything special, so that's fine. Yeah. So yeah, there's my recommendation. If you don't have to see it, but it's an okay, fun movie to see. I don't know. I'll probably see it maybe one more time sometime in the future. Not in theaters again, but sometime in the future I might see it again. I don't know. Probably will. Not great, but fun. And also, there's a little thing I wanted to talk about in this movie that I found very strange, that I could technically consider spoilers because it happens close to the end of the movie, and it involves a certain character showing up that you would never expect to see in a Han Solo movie. You would never think this character would show up in a Han Solo movie. So, if you don't want something like that spoiled for you, because, you know, I guess that can kind of be considered a spoiler. He's not like a major character it's not a huge plot twist or anything necessarily. It's just more or less like ooh, here's a hint for people who know this character. Yes, if you don't want something like that spoiled for you, then don't watch the next part of this video, because I'm just going to mention it. Here we go. That spoiler is coming in 3, 2, 1. Darth Maul shows up out of nowhere. And I don't know how I feel about this. So, as you guys know, anybody who clicks on my channel for 2 seconds knows I'm a pretty big fan of Star Wars: The Clone Wars TV show. Darth Maul showed up in that show, and I thought he was great in that show, and he kind of revitalized the character of Darth Maul, because Darth Maul originally showed up, obviously, in Phantom Menace. He was cool in it, like, he looked cool and everything, and he, you know, did a bunch of cool flips and stuff. He was cool, but he wasn't that interesting of a character. They brought him back in Clone Wars and made him an actually better character. I actually liked his character in that show. And so I'm kind of conflicted on this, because I like Darth Maul. But why? Like, why was he in a Han Solo movie randomly? Like, he's just, like, the crime, I don't even know who these people were, the crime group or whatever that they were working for throughout the movie. you know, the one chick takes over their group, and then she like talks to the leader of the group, the guy who's like in charge of them, and it's like, and like you don't see his face at first, and like I could tell who it was though because of the voice, because I watched Star Wars Clone Wars. I know what Darth Maul's voice sounds like. I heard that same voice from Clone Wars, that the same voice that did Maul in Clone Wars, and I was like, wait, is this Darth Maul? Is this actually Darth Maul? And then camera goes around, it's Darth Maul. Why? I don't know if this is just an Easter egg of like, ooh, here's a hint, here's an Easter egg for people who know who Darth Maul is, or if it's like setting something up for a future movie, like the next Star Wars story, maybe. I mean, a lot of people are saying that the next Star Wars story might be Kenobi, and maybe Maul is going to be in that too, because you know a lot of people have been saying that that's a possibility. Although I also heard that Maul died in whatever that show is, Rebels. I don't know if that's actually true. I heard that, but I don't know if that's true because I never watched Rebels. But I don't know. It was just weird, and I'm still like, what? Whose choice was that? I don't know. It just seems like such a weird, random thing to just kind of throw in there. I mean, it's not bad necessarily. Again, it's just a quick little thing that's barely there, and it doesn't really add or take away from the movie at all. It's just kind of there, and it's weird. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I don't know what I think about that, because part of me is like, cool, it's Darth Maul, and he's got the voice from Clone Wars, the same voice who does him, and I love him in Clone Wars, so awesome. But then the other side of me is like, why? What's he here for? Why? In a Han Solo movie? I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Although, technically, again, I consider this to technically be a spoiler, I guess. But, yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments for that. I don't know. It was really weird. Also, leave your thoughts in the comments of what you think of the movie as a whole. Did you like Han Solo? Did you like Solo: A Star Wars Story? Did you not like it? What are things you did like about it? What are things you didn't like about it? Again, I thought it was pretty mediocre. It was enjoyable. That's about it. Anyways, that is about all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. I spoil loyal fans. I foil your plans and leave fluids leaking like oil pans. My coiled hands around this microphone are lethal. One thought in my cerebral is deeper than a jeep full of people. MCs are feeble. I came to cause some pandemonium. Battle a band of phony MCs, a stand alone one. Imitator, intimidator, stimulator, simulator of data.